Students, good afternoon. Are you hearing my voice? Students, are you hearing my voice?
వినబడుతుంది సార్, వినబడుతుంది.
Yeah, right. Okay. సో ఇంత ముందు కొంచెం పవర్ కట్ ఉండే, అందుకే కొంచెం ముందు స్టార్ట్ చేయలేకపోయాను. ఓకే. సో students, we discussed about these tribal movements in last classes. Okay, so we divided these tribal movements and peasantry revolts in the three phases. One is 1757 to 1857, 1857 to 1920, and 1920 to 1947, like that. Okay, so we covered certain movements between the 1757 to 1920 in the last classes, and today I have to finish certain tribal movements which had this tribal and peasant nature. Like we find nearly 3 to 5 movements are like that, which started after 1920, like that. Okay, so where in every class we going through such revolts. Before going to revolts, we are having certain factors which led to these movements are like that. Okay, so for these movements, for these tribal movements, there are certain there are common causes you are well aware, like the colonial policies, basically, and along with the colonial policies, the suppression of the government, and also certain the interference of these colonial colonial governments in the life or the cultures of these tribal various tribals in the various regions of Indian territories. And there are other things like modern means of transport and communication, which is also another cause for rise of these movements. And also there are interference of or impact of the plain people, particularly like the money lenders and merchant class and various European peoples whose entry in the regions of these tribal regions. Okay, so all these are certain common causes for all the tribal movements which arisen in India since 1757, and for these movements also, the movements which are started after 1920, in between the 1920 and 1947, also the same causes you can apply here also. Okay, so apart from the movements which started before 1920 and after 1920, the movements which started in after 1920 had these common reasons, and in the nature also you'll see the same nature for these also. Okay, so and for this we'll start with certain unknown movements which started after 1920. Basically, the first one is the tribal movements which started in the Midnapur. Okay, so in between 1918 and 1924. Okay, so one is the Santals and Boomji and Kurmi, tribals of the jungle, this Mahal in Midnapur, which revolted against the British way back in 1760. Okay, so the rebelled against the East India Company for disposing the tribal chiefs of their land in 1760, and the East India Company deposed chiefs such as the Raja of Pachet and the Jamindar of Raipur and Ganga Narayan. Okay, so personalities whose these tribals were fight against. And the British introduced the permanent settlement and created a class of landlords. And by the end of the 19th century, the settlers from outside had encroached upon the tribal land. And like the tribals in the other region, here also they were exploited by the outsiders, landlords, and money lenders, traders, and the British officials also. And there had developed a deep sense of hatred among the tribals against the Tikus. And between 1921 and 23, the peasants of Jengil Mahals and neighboring tracts in Bankura and Singabum rose against the landlordism. And this peasant movement was mainly led by the Adivasis. Okay, so it could be divided into the two phases. The first phase coincided with the period of non-cooperation movement. Okay, so along with non-cooperation movement, this movement also started simultaneously, and was marked by the Congress participation. And the second phase covered the period uh, covered the period following Gandhi's arrest. Okay, so till 1921, there was no Congress organization in the Jangil Mahals, and attempts had not yet been made to involve Adivasis in the national movement. And in the early 1921, C.R. Das and other Chhatrapati Rai set out the task of involving the Adivasis in the non-cooperation movement. Okay, so the Congress made Midnapur Jamindari Company, MZC, its target. And the MZC, controlled by the European landlords, were oppressive towards the Adivasis. And the Adivasi workers working in the particular companies, these companies, were paid very small wages, less wages, and they received the 4 paise for carting wood up to the distance of 14 miles, and 8 paise for 35 miles. And it shows very a meager wages which paid to these labor at the time. And the MZC responded by using force to bring the Adivasis back to the work. And sometimes the MZC decided to move the court on this meager wages also. And meanwhile, the movement had developed from a strike into a general revolt against MZC. And the MZC and Midnapur Jamindari Company. Okay, so the confrontation established the credibility of the Congress among the Adivasis, and the MZC was identified with outsiders. Okay, so in July 1921, the Sailajananda Sen led a demonstration of 20 Santal women and blocked the path of paddy carts belonging to the local landlord. And in May 1921, the Congress organized a meeting of 700 Santals who resolved to abstain from drinking alcohol. And the Congress leaders Sajananda Sen and Murari Mohan Roy constantly advocated the boycott of these foreign goods, especially clothes, in their speeches. And in January 1922, the Congress initiated a company against foreign cloth, and the Midnapur Mining Syndicate filed a petition accusing Congress of these Santals to plunder the forest. In January 1922, the Congress campaign against the foreign clothes triggered of raids on 4 these arts. Okay, so which foreign clothes were destroyed, and these raids were which is they are raiding on these foreign cloth sending shops are like that. Okay, so and between 1521 May 1918, the Santals in Mayurbhanj rose against that. They perceive to be the threat for to the labor corps bound for the France. Okay, so in the face of an uprising, the movement had to abandon recruitment plan, and the Santals rose on 14th June 1918 against encapsulating various outstanding Santal grievances such as Saukidar taxes and Forest Regulation Act, etc. And having accepted their collective ability to defeat the government measures, the Santals were now in position to extend their insurgency against all kinds of these operations of the government. In August 1922, the Adivasis asserted their traditional rights to use the jungles and fish in the tanks. Okay, so the movement was no more confined to the MZC. It moved out into the areas under the landlords. Okay, so this is a important movement you see after 1920, and another one is the Devi movement in the Gujarat. Okay, so Devi movement in Gujarat, which taken place in between 1922-23. Devi movement was initially a social movement which took place in South Gujarat in 1922-23, and it was a movement in which it was presumed that Devi Salbai was giving command to the tribals to abstain from eating fish, drinking liquor or toddy, to take bath daily, okay, to use water rather than a leaf to clean up after defecation, okay, so to keep houses clean, to release release or sell goats and chickens, okay, so and to boycott Farsi liquor dealers and landlords. Okay, so those who failed to obey these divine orders were believed to suffer misfortune or go mad or even die. Okay, so by December 1922, the movement engulfed the entire area inhabited by the tribals along the Surat city, and this movement made those leaders uh, um, those classes in its against which exploited the tribals and which were dealing with the liquor trade. Okay, so these classes, including Parsi moneylenders and landlords, whose were also liquor sellers, and the tribals decided to boycott the Parsis and the Muslims, not work with anyone linked with the trade of liquor and to take a bath when crossed by the shadow of Parsi or like that. Okay, so this movement was a religious movement also in the beginning, but towards the end of December 1922, it became the part of non-cooperation movement and the government schools. Okay, so and the tribal started to educate burning of foreign clothes and boycott of these government schools. And in Jabalpur Taluka, the tribals used Devi medium to force a Parsi caddy shop owner to pay fine of rupees 120 to a nationalist school. And Gandhians had been working among the tribals of Badoli Taluka and Mahal since 1921. And Gandhi insisted upon the participation of Adivasis in national movement even before a civil disobedience was launched in the area. And until then, the Adivasis had shown no interest in the national movement. And Kunwarji Mehta, a Congress leader, worked among the tribals, and the tribals became familiar with the name of Gandhi. And the tribals became far more sympathetic to the national movement. Um, Sympathetic to the national movement. And in the following years, the name of Gandhi got linked with the name of Devi through the Devi medium. And after that, Congress leaders visited Bardoli and attended some Devi meetings also. And they suggested to the Congress organized, which is they suggested to the tribals that this Devi's command could be reinforced by wearing khadi, and the Congress organized Kali Parag conference, which was presided over by the Vallabhai Patel on 21st January 1923. And this conference was attended by about 20,000 Adivasis. And uh, 20,000 Adivasis, and the conference resolved to advocate the cutting of khadi trees, disclosure of liquor shops, and propagation of khadi. And in the following the next 2 decades, in 1920s and 30s, many Chaudharis of tribals lived up to the commitment of giving support to the Gandhian movement and Indian National Congress against the British rule. Okay, so this is also another movement, the Devi movement of South Gujarat. And after this, another important movement is nothing but Jitu Santals movement in Malda. Okay, so the Jitu Santals movement, which taken place in between the 1924-32, the Santals of Malda district launched a anti-landlord movement in 1924-32, and this movement got intervened with the national movement, and the leaders of Swaraj Party supported the tenants in their struggle against the landlords. And the leader of this movement, Jitu Santala, Jitu Chotka, was drawn close to the Swarajis. He received instructions from the Swarajis to carry forward this movement. Although this movement was anti-Tiku and anti-colonial, it suffered from the tinge of Hindu communalism. And the Swarajists worked among the tribals to bring them within the Hindu fold through the Shuddhi and the social reform. And Swarajist Kashishwar Chakravarti, popularly known as the Sannyasi Baba, who toured Malda along with the Jitu Santals in 1925. Okay, so Jitu Santal was known as a agent and preacher by the police order in order to perform Kali Puja. And this was done with the purpose of giving new Hindu status to the tribals. They appealed to the tribals to give up tribal identity and promise to give them a new Hindu status. And he exhorted the tribals to renounce the use of pigs and fowls. And if they did so, the higher caste could accept water from water from them without any fear. Okay, so they were exhorted to accept Jitu as their leader. Okay, so there were even rumors that Jitu Raj had been accepted. Okay, so and in 1928, Jitu instructed Santals to loot the autumn crop. He promised the tribals that they could be accorded the uh, they could be accorded the status of the tenants, not of the sharecroppers. Okay, so in the settlements, there was several instances of the loot by the Santals. On 3rd December 1932, Jitu converted Santals to Hinduism. He occupied the ruins of Adina Mosque with the purpose to convert it into a temple in the historic city Padua. Okay, so he called himself Gandhi. He declared the end of the British Raj and the establishment of his own government inside the occupied mosque, and Jitu became a legend. His association with the Swarajis and the Hindustani movement earned him by the sympathy of the nationalist Hindus of the Malda town. Okay, so the movement saw the mutual dependence between the Swarajist and the Hindu communalists, and this movement was sparked of the background of the deteriorating conditions of the Santals, and the movement was provoked by the sharp rise in the prices of essential items, forcible eviction of the tenants from the land by the landlords, increasing demand by the landlords for the allowances and the rent along with other forms of exploitation and harassment, and these problems increased manifold in 1930s. Okay, so and finally, a Santal reported, we must kill all hands, Sikhs and Muslims. Okay, so such movements has arisen during the 1920 and 47. Okay, so after that, there are other movements which taken place after 1920 and between 1920 and 47, like these along with these tribal movements, along with the national movement, which taken place in other parts like the Orissa, and also the tribal movements in Assam and Meghalaya, Mizoram. Also, we had. Okay, so these are such movements to be discussed, and those movements we'll see in the next class. I will take another class after the lunch break. Okay, so this is end of my class, and I will give you another 3-4 tribal movements which taken place in between 1920 and 47. Okay, so students, thank you. Very much, and I am ending my class now, and I will meet you after the lunch again. Okay, so thank you, students. Are you hearing?